Well, it was based on this. When I was younger, I had a dog who, was very special to me, and the doctor said that it had this thing called distemper, wasn't going to live very long. So I didn't know anything about death, and so I just had this specter of the idea that this love, my dog was not going to be around for very long. The dog ended up living for a long time, but it had a large impact on me. And I love also monster movies, so Frankenstein was such a story that I loved, and so kind of mixing the two together just seemed like a natural kind of progression of the two. No, I mean, I don't see any project that I've done in the past that I would consider like this. I think it was a short film, and it was live action, which was great to do. But I looked at over the years. I looked at the original drawings I did for the thing, and also I love stop motion, and then sort of expanding with the other kids and characters, and kind of going back to my memory of other kids in school and teachers and things. It felt like a whole new project. It didn't feel like I was redoing a short. It felt more like a brand new thing. Well, I grew up watching movies. I mean, movies spoke to me. They were the things that that kind of helped me through life. So it's fun to do it, and I know it had such impact on me that I feel very blessed that I get to do it. I mean, it was very tricky for me because those movies influenced me quite a lot. But I know there's whole generations of people that don't know, like Frankenstein or the original Wolfman, all those old movies. But I tried to make sure that you didn't have to know those references to hopefully enjoy the film. I mean, it was more about trying to give the feeling of those films than to having actual know the references. So I tried to make it so that you could still enjoy the movie, not knowing them. Well, I think it's a full package, I mean, that's the fun about stop motion. I mean, you have puppets and you build sets and you light it like a real set, and so it's a very intimate but kind of big thing. So there's an intimacy about it, and the characters are the most important thing, because in this style of animation, there's not a lot of big action. It's more character and a little bit more intimate. So I think the characters are obviously, and also it's interesting to try to take these little puppets and bring them to life. I mean, the animators are doing a really great job in terms of, giving these little puppets character. I mean, you kind of feel like a giant when you're on the set of a stop motion film, because you have everything there, characters, sets. It's just on a slightly smaller scale. So, it's both a big scale and a small scale at the same time. So I think it's just the nature of the type of animation. It's very handmade. It's animators moving a puppet one thing at a time. So there is an intimacy to it just in the nature of how it's done. I don't really think about it too much. Obviously, it was based on the short film that I did many years ago. The characters are kind of there, but I didn't think, oh, I'd put that in a movie and I'm going to put that in this one. It was more because it was about memory. It was interesting because everything, like I said, was based on like real kids, and even the settings, like the classroom and the home and the neighborhood, was based on my memory of Burbank. I mean, I'm very happy because all the kids turned out, they had their own characters. I mean, I kind of like Weird Girl. She's sort of a favorite of mine. But they're all good. I like Toshiaki. They're very, I love them because they remind me of people that I remember. And also the teacher, I had those kind of teachers that you couldn't understand what they were talking about. I mean, so the whole thing for me is very personal that way. Each character is identified.